Hi, welcome. Oops, I'm sorry, my seat's all wonky back here. Give me a second. Happy new moon. It's a new moon in Pisces today. But as I've maybe mentioned, I probably haven't mentioned it in a while, but I'll mention it again. My readings, especially these card readings, are timeless. But I want to just acknowledge it's a new moon in Pisces because it's, I'm sure, going to impact. God darn it, this chair's all fucked up back here. My readings are likely going to be impacted, right, by the new moon. And I was thinking about, it's been a while since I've done a little bit of scrying through this amethyst portal. So I'm going to do that also. I've been really embracing the blues and greens of the ocean and celebrating the water element. I'm a Scorpio rising. In fact, I don't know if I even really have any Pisces in my chart. But I definitely celebrate and embrace the water element. And I just wanted to do kind of a general collective reading. I've been personally feeling a lot of interference in my life. I don't know if you relate at all, but that might come out in the reading if people in this collective have been experiencing that. Just interference like aches and pains, you know, people coming into my dream space, things that feel like they're beyond just the mundane coincidence or whatever. But I tend to do well with things like that. I don't end up responding in the way that I think is intended sometimes, whether it's to get me to lose my temper or sound crazy, right? Like, it's like, okay, whatever. These are things that are happening. I'm not going to go shooting my mouth off about it everywhere, like, except for here, where it's often something that other people relate to, right? But if not, you know, if you're not experiencing that, I'm happy for you. I'm also, even though I've kind of been experiencing that, I'm really excited about things to come. I feel like I just have a lot of good things coming down the line for me. Plans, changes that are past due and very welcome in my life, moving. I'm going to be sad though. Someone just saw a cougar near here last night and this morning. And as happy as I'm always am to hear something like that, I also then simultaneously worry, like, I hope nobody hurts it. But I'm celebrating the wildlife that's all around me here, and I'm hoping to live somewhere again where there's a lot of wildlife. I don't want to, but I also miss some of the comforts of the city where there's resources right around me and neighbors and things like that. I go back and forth all the time, but I don't know if I just love living in the country. So even if I move like down to the Gulf Coast, which is an area I'm seriously considering, I think that it's possible to have still somewhat of a country atmosphere and still be close to town, kind of like I am here. I feel sad too because I hear the towhees. They're some of my favorite birds that they winter here. It's not like they're gone, but they're trying to find mates right now. So they're starting to have more bird song near where I live. And that's something I'm going to miss too. Especially because where I live, it's just spectacular for bird migration. It really is. It's something I'm going to miss and would like to, again, live somewhere where I get to experience that, right? To the degree that I do now. So anyways, let's see here. I was planning to start with just this Bowman deck again because I really love it. So let's just do what's a general message for the collective, especially tapping into new moon in Pisces, maybe any obstacles and what can be done about the obstacles, if any, if that's coming up for other people, like for me, feeling like I'm having interference from bad actors or, you know, people that are invested in me not succeeding. I used to think that was so paranoid when I would hear people talk about that, especially famous people. But the older I've gotten, the more I've realized how true it is. Like, just envy and jealousy, or people that don't feel like they have the wherewithal to make the changes that you're making, or, you know, going out on my own. I know I've said it before, and I don't mean to go on and on about this, but I feel like a lot of people were invested in me not succeeding. Not necessarily really close relationships, but colleagues, things like that. And You know, at 50, I tend to still be really youthful. I'm 51, but I often come across as way younger because I have kind of a youthful, you know, I'm a stoner. I smoked weed forever and still do. I just am on a break. But I think sometimes that people feel competitive towards me. I'm one of those people, I think partly because I have a Scorpio rising, that I really trigger people. I trigger people around me. They either like me or they kind of admire me from a distance, or they can't stand me and they think I'm hot shit. They want to take me down a few pegs, or they want to compete with me. And it's always been that way since high school, honestly. And I'm just going to say it here, not because again, like they may perceive that because I think I'm hot shit, but it's just the way some personality types are. I tend to really trigger people for whatever reason. I have no idea why, but I'm sick of it. I get sick of it at times, right? It's like, stop worrying about me. Focus on you, right? So you might be experiencing something like that. Interference where you're picking up on people's resentment towards you or whatever. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I was starting out thinking I was going to do a general reading, but I'm not. I'm going to do, because it's been bugging me, and so I'm going to do like an adversarial relationship. We're going to focus on that, or relationships. What are the dynamics you need to know in these adversarial social dynamics that you're going through right now? Whether you define that as haters, jealous family, friendships, people you don't know, right? Someone on the street. It could be anything. Just what should you know right now about an adversarial conflict or person in your life? What's going to be helpful for you to know? And that makes sense with this new moon in Pisces. It's an emotional opportunity. Pisces are considered creative. They sometimes struggle with boundaries. So that could be, you might be picking up a lot on the energy of people around you energetically because the boundaries are a lot thinner at this time. That might be. Let's just see what comes out. Ooh, I just got really hot. I just got flushed with heat. So, I mean, I'm kind of going through menopause, so that happens. You get a hot flash, but it kind of feels like it came on when I was talking about the subject matter a little bit. So you might be getting heated and testy, right? Another reader I follow was saying that hot flashes can be caused too by your sacral chakra going through a cleansing and purging. So that might be as well, energetically, that we're being impacted by that. And that's the center of our creativity. And that's often where I feel kind of hated on in my own life, is like my creative courage. I'm a decisive person. I don't tend to hem and haw. I'm very direct. Once I've decided I'm going to do something, I do it. I'm decisive. Like, I don't have to go back and forth very much. And I think sometimes that gets envied even. Or else judged. Like, people think I'm, because I don't, and anymore in my life, I don't hesitate to block people, even people I go way back with, if I feel like you're sending me negative energy, and you have been for a while now. And no matter the steps I've tried to take to clear it up or clarify it, it's not really working. So I'm done babysitting this situation, or, block, delete, not delete, like, out of my life. If you can, people can still reach me on email or find me through the phone, through connecting through someone else. If someone wants to hash it out, they can find me. I'm still out there, but I don't give people access to my energy anymore. If I sense that there's just this fraught tension with them, or has been for years, finally it's like, okay, enough. Block and cut cords, right? Not everybody understands that, though, and many people think that's wrong, that you shouldn't do that. Ooh, I love it. This I love to see. Okay. Damn, this is badass. This is exactly, let's just get into the meat of this, because it's badass. The situation is love and relationships. Equal give and take. At the very center of things is the Emperor, and this is my life path card, and so it's a place of empowerment. We are showing up as in an empowered energy for this tension and conflict. Over here represents us, and over here represents the people that feel adversarial towards us, or vice versa. It could be mutual, right? So in our mindset, and I just love to see it. I just love to see this. I just have to say, oh yeah, and I wanted to get some stuff burning here. So I've got a little bit of juniper berry, which I've been really loving, and copal. I'm going to put a little mugwort on here as well to get clear messages. And I brought a little bit of acacia to celebrate and protect our desire for privacy in some relationships, right? Some relationships get a lot of eyes on them. And acacia is a plant that you can kind of burn to help that relationship maintain a level of privacy, regardless of what other people think, right? So here, oh, it smells so good. Here on our side, in our mind, we're like, no, enough, like I just said. And it probably picked up on some of my energy as I was describing it. But that was my intention. What's going on for us in an adversarial dynamic? In our minds over here, we're like, that's enough. I'm putting a stop to this. It's the Two of Swords. You're not getting access anymore. You're not coming towards me with your hostile energy, with your envy, with your bitterness, with your resentment, with your even fuckery, right? Like desire to mess with me and get me to not do well or whatever that is, right? Block my goals, interfere with my aims or ambitions, right? Over here, we're like, enough of that. Because in our hearts, we've been feeling like someone's blocking us or trying to entrap us, or even it could be a setup, right? Like you might be feeling like, stop trying to set me up for a fall. Stop trying to set me up to look shitty in the eyes of others, right? Like that's something that I've dealt with in the workplace in the past. I had someone or someone's, I'm not really sure, I know of one for sure, who, you know, was doing like slandering me, like starting a smear campaign against me, putting seeds of doubt about me and my character in my coworkers because they had an issue with me. They felt threatened by me. They were jealous of me. They didn't like the way that I impacted the workplace, that I got admiration, that I was respected for. Oh, and I had started to say, part of the reason that happens to me a lot, in part, it's not all the way, in part is because I seem a lot younger than I am. Like when I was coming up in my field, I respected my elders. I didn't feel like I should have what they had. I knew at some point I will get there too. With this person in particular, in my case, even though they're quite a bit younger, like at least a decade younger than me, they felt entitled to the regard that I already had established because of my hard work and my career. And at some point when I started realizing that, I was like, I need to just move away from this person. They're competing with me. They don't like the regard I have. They don't like, or they're clout chasing. They're either trying to piggyback onto my respect, or they're mad that they don't have it in an equal degree yet. And it's like, well, just wait. Just do your work like I did and you'll get that regard, right? But instead they got preoccupied with me and trying to make me look bad, casting doubt on my reputation. It's a smear campaign, right? Like I think this person was a narcissist. So it was like a smear campaign slandering me even. I think it's gotten to that degree at one point. So it's something like that we're picking up on here, that you're like, I'm not going to let you ensnare me into what's really your ego problem. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just focused on my work, right? It also may be in love. They may have felt like you were a competition for them in love, okay? It could be because we have this Two of Cups here. Because you've done this and you've tried to block access as much as possible to you, it's caused a tower. They are livid. They don't like it. It may actually be having and causing ramifications in their life, okay, where they're having fallout from their behavior towards you in some regard because it's a tower. In their mind, it's either, like, I was just watching this video the other day about what happens to a narcissist when they have a personality collapse, like when you remove the supply that you've been giving them, or when you block access for them to hate on you and fixate on you and obsess on you. When you block that away and they're forced to then sit with themselves, it can do something like this. It can create a tower, all right? So me personally, because I've gotten sick of this kind of energy being directed at me in my life, whether it's from this person, a former colleague, or otherwise, I feel pleased because it's like, deal with your own shit. This is what should be going on. You shouldn't be worrying about what I'm doing over here. Face your own tower, face your own psyche, face your own shortcomings, right? Like, stop trying to bring me down in the eyes of others, or take me down a few pegs, or do even as far as like a smear campaign. It can cause a lot of damage in the workplace. And honestly, it's actionable. You can then file suit. Not that I'm sue happy. I doubt I would ever file suit unless I found out this really created harm to my reputation or something, right? Then you might. It's costly. It costs money to file a suit that is about slander, like to try to prove that someone slandered you professionally and you now have accrued damages because of that. That's expensive, but it's true. And you could be going through something like that, where you've started cluing into the fact like, hey, not only was this person planting seeds of doubt about me, but they were slandering me. Rocky Erickson is coming through. He sings a song called Don't Slander Me, right? I want to go listen to it now, right? So it could be that you feel slandered because this person's envy got so out of control, or narcissism, right? That they are now having a tower in their mind or in their reality because you've blocked access and said, enough of this. I'm going to either take steps, or I'm cutting you off, or whatever. It could look a number of ways. In their mind, they didn't, in their heart, this represents their heart center. They weren't recognizing all of the things that they were getting just on their own. Like, again, in my career, this person had a lot of their own things that they could have maximized and worked on in order to stand out in their own right, in their own way, right? But instead of see that, which is the sad part of narcissism, it's a wound to someone's identity that gets cultivated in childhood for a number of reasons. It just comes out in a really toxic way in adulthood, in a way that's very hard to treat, because many narcissists won't ever acknowledge that they have narcissism or that they have a problem. Some do. I've met a couple in my own career and in my own life who acknowledged and recognized, I do have a narcissistic personality and I'm going to try to get help for it. But it's rare. But it does happen. So in their heart, they were not recognizing all of the opportunities that they could have had if they would have stopped competing with you. They could have just cultivated their own skill set, their own, what made them unique, right? But in their heart, they didn't do that. They chose instead to focus on you. They rejected the things that were being offered to them or that they were being acknowledged for. And instead, they're like this. No, I want what they have over there. I want their regard. I want their acclaim. I want their looks, or whatever it is, right? This is very Four of Cups in the heart center. So in the vein kind of running through you both is there was not an equal give and take. You might have started off trying to, like I mentioned earlier, repair to some degree. Like, gosh, I hope I didn't say something that offended you. I don't feel like, I remember at one time saying to this person, I don't feel like there's anything bad between us. It's just that we work in a different way. At least that's where I was. I was like, it's not a bad thing. It's just a difference. Like, I work this way and you work that way. And I was pointing out why, maybe it wasn't a good idea at that point to have a certain thing going on between us, like a work project or whatever. Because I started to realize there's not really, I don't know. One, we weren't in an alignment. And here in this description, it's like there wasn't an equal balance. Either you felt like this person, you caught on that this person was coveting you and way more focused on you than on their own life. And the vein running through is like, this is not for me. This is not a balanced relationship. I know who I am. I'm an emperor. This person covets my emperor status. And it's a relationship of the heart as well in this dynamic. So let's pull, well, before I start pulling it from other decks, what was the Four of Cups in the Tower over here? What is it about for them? What's the issue, right? It's in the realm of emotions and creativity, I think, because we're in the new moon in Pisces. So the new moon is a new opportunity for something different. Maybe they'll take it with this tower, right? They might be forced to be like, I'm going to have to do something new because this person's cut me off. I can't copy them anymore. Now what am I going to do, right? Or I can't slander them anymore because they've been gone for 4 years. It just makes me look crazy, right? Or something like that. It could be anything. I keep kind of using my own experience as an example, but What was this over here? Working together. It must have been a work site probably, or a creative project. The Tower for them is that maybe they're not going to get to work with you anymore. Yeah, it might have come to light, okay? Because here's the Hanged One. It might have come to light, the work that they were doing, either to make you look bad. Yeah, it's a sad not being able to work with you. They might feel, and in fact, there was another reading I did a while ago where the person in question might have felt envious of your light. And while they kind of hated you, they also wanted in to your energy, which is not unusual if someone's like a clout chaser, right? They secretly envy you, but they also want to be near you because you have a nice quality that they admire. Let's find out more about it. Or they might be sad because a love interest chose you, okay, over them, and you've cut this person off so they don't get to know what's going on, which can make people feel out of control. What was the circumstance here? What was the circumstance? What happened? And I mean, that person isn't even the only person I've dealt with. So one thing that it taught me was how common it is. It's not unusual, especially when I started watching tarot and realizing, like, boy, it's not an anomaly. A lot of people deal with this. And narcissistic personality types are a lot more common in the workplace than I ever knew. And I have since found out what damage they can cause, right? When I was younger in my field, I knew enough to know, like, that energy doesn't feel good to me, and I'm going to steer clear and just focus on me. And I didn't make a lot of friends at work. And I remember knowing that person's going to take themselves out. And that's almost what always happens, is that people catch on eventually. Maybe not at first. You might have to endure a period of time where you seem like a jerk because you don't really like that person, but everybody else is like, oh, I think they're sweet or whatever. And then 3 years later, oh my God, that person got escorted off the property by security, and it all kind of comes out that this person really wasn't so sweet after all, right? So let's see, what was this? What happened here? What was... Work, again, this has to do with a workplace. A shock over between an official person and an older person at work for you. There's an illness. What's the illness here? Was this due to it could be a sexual relationship, but it also might be that this person is being seen now for not being very healthy, or for having caused a problem with this older person. Please clarify the illness card. Yeah, they worked against you in some way. They worked to try to diminish you in the eyes of this other party. It could be this emperor, right? And that's the person between you that they were vying for. Either their regard, their promotion, their, like a supervisor kind of thing. This older gentleman could represent a supervisor. And the officials caught on to this, like either human resources or an official person, like a security person, might have caught them hacking into a computer. You know, it could be anything, right? But it happened in a workplace. It's created a shocking turn of events for this person that was adversarial towards you. In the eyes of this emperor, either a boss or a lover. It kind of is striking me as a lover with this Two of Cups. That there might have been a triangle in love at work, which happens, right? Especially in large work settings with multiple people, lots of people involved. Their workplace romances happen all the time, and they're not necessarily a negative thing. But what happened here is negative. This person maybe felt competitive towards you about this relationship. And they were trying to cast ill on your name. It's just right here. And they thought they were succeeding, and they're finding out, actually, no, now you're being called into HR. Actually, security's getting involved. Or it could even be the cops, right? Something serious, though, where this person is now finding themselves on the serious outside. Whereas before they might have felt like they were succeeding with the Six of Wands. They're now finding out through this shocking turn of events that they're being cast out, either fired, escorted off the property. Like I said, that's happened to multiple people in my career, where they were being shady, either like falsifying chart notes, or doing, because I'm a clinical social worker, or getting involved in a workplace, getting involved with a client. That's another thing. Having a sexual relationship with a client, which is a huge ethics violation, right? It could be something like that. It could really look like anything, okay? But it's very serious is what it's showing here. This person's world is crumbling because of their behavior. It's sad but true. What do you need to know? I'm not gloating anymore, because with this level of, like, it's easy to feel like, good, I'm glad finally other people are catching on. Like, I was sort of considered the mean one, and now people are seeing that I wasn't so mean, that I was actually onto this person long before they were, right? Like, that's been a repeat in my own life multiple times in a work setting. I now understand it's because I'm intuitive and I have good instincts, and I'm even kind of psychic. And so I can feel when somebody's not in a healthy energy, but other people they're not always as tuned into that, right? It also happens if you're a trauma survivor, and you have to know how to read the room in order to survive, right? What do you need to know about this? Smudge, like we just did. In fact, I keep trying to get some more smoke going here. The juniper berry isn't as smoky as I would like, but it smells amazing. I might burn some copal now here to try to help get some more smoke going. And some more acacia for our privacy, right? So that this person just doesn't have open access to us and our energy. Acacia can protect the privacy of our own relationships. So this is right. Bring in some smoke, right? If you need to, take some stuff for your nervous system. If it created a lot of stress for you, which I sense it did with this Eight of Wands, you might have felt really ensnared in this person's energy. Yeah, boom. Are you receiving the same level of devotion that you offer? You recognize that there was not a balance in this dynamic, and you backed way away. And in fact, it, like we identified, it might have been a love triangle. You started realizing, like, this person's still ensnared with them, and I want fuck all to do with them. So I'm going to end it even with this Emperor, right? Because I don't want any involvement with this toxic person. You started realizing this. And in fact, sometimes people will, you know, like, if it's not to be stereotypical, but yes, I'm going to leave them, and then they just keep stringing you along, right? It could be something like that, that you finally realized enough is enough. Go be with that other person. They're toxic. I don't want anything to do with them. Well, this is all coming out in some way that's creating a tower for the other party, okay? The third party here. In the meantime, you have nothing to worry about. Maybe you don't know this is happening. Fuck, you can't make it up. Don't cast your pearls before swine. You've clued in fairly quickly. This is a clusterfuck. I'm not going to put any energy towards this because it's a clusterfuck. And this person isn't doing what they need to reassure me. So no, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to be a part of it, right? Stand firm in your center and your truth, because it's what's protecting you. This person's created a tower in their own life because of their shady dealings. What are some Lenormand cards? What else should we know? What about the Emperor here? Let's clarify this Emperor. Where things are headed is a Two of Cups, so maybe there's going to be a reconciliation. Maybe this person's finally caught on because of this tower and involvement of security or cops or HR or whoever the official person is. Maybe the Emperor's now finally caught on, like, oh yeah, this person is toxic, but I don't know. Let's see. What's the Emperor story here? It's a new opportunity for everyone involved. A new moon in Pisces is a reset emotionally, right? Cutting cords. This Emperor is cutting cords, either with them or with you, let's see, or the situation. Yeah, it's some sort of history that they're ending. They're ending this legacy with this person. They're ending the history with them. It might even be someone that they were starting to have a family with. I don't know. My gosh, I hope that's not, I'm not wishing for that kind of fracture. Yeah, it's the end of, this person might actually leave that setting, this Emperor. They might actually leave. They might cut ties with the entire legacy and institution over here that they were working at. Is that accurate? Yeah, it's an ending for them. They've ended something over here. Maybe that's what caused the Tower for this person. What's going on? Tell us more about this Emperor. This person strikes me as really double dealing over here, and they got caught. They got caught in the web of crap they were creating because they didn't just appreciate what they had. They were busy trying to be adversarial with you and compete with you, which is very classic narcissism, right? Especially malignant or covert. Those folks are prone at times to doing like a smear campaign or, you know, slandering you. If they think that you've crossed them or you have something that they want, like your clout, your acclaim, whatever, right? High Priestess at the split. Yeah, Queen of Cups. Temperance. Ten of Wands. They have gotten very burdened with this and they want healing. I don't know if the Queen of Cups represents this person over here or you, but I think it represents you because the Temperance card, it shows the water, the cups pouring back and forth into one another, and this Queen of Cups, it's like they want you. You might be this High Priestess. What about you over here? Let's learn something about you. What's your story right now? Other than the fact that you stopped the ensnarement. You were like, I'm not getting ensnared in this person's bullshit and in this clusterfuck over here. I'm moving away from it. I'm moving on. I cleanse my energy. I smudge, right? I stand firm in my truth. I'm not getting anything out of this. This is a big nightmare over there, right? I want to move away from it. What's important to know about you here? The Sun. By doing that, you move towards your own joy. You were like, it's never going to come through this entangled scenario, right? Your own happiness, the Nine of Cups. You're in this great energy. This is what this new moon in Pisces is bringing for you. Joy, sun, clarity. Yeah, after this conflict, away from this conflict. And this person wants that. This person wants to be connected to that in some way. I'm going to just pull a couple of these for you as well. What should you know about what's coming for you? And then I'll do some tiles. I don't know if I'll do some scrying. Otherwise, this reading might get too long. I don't know. Let's see. It's not like I have anything else going on, though. What's going on for you over here? Pleasant communication. Abundance from an institution, I don't know, prison. Money. Yeah, you're going to get money from some kind of an institution, or your money may have whatever blocks to your money, maybe that this was creating as well. Might be, you're going to be getting good, pleasant communication about it. Like maybe okay, it just came through. This person may have interfered in your life in some way to, again, like ensnare you in something or block your money to some degree, and you're going to be receiving communication about it, okay? Because this Emperor is thinking about that even. It's been a long journey. This has been going on for a while. I'm sorry. But you did right. Your instincts were spot on to move away. You were like, this is a mess. I want nothing to do with this. I don't compete. I'm not going to be a part of this. This person has now cut themselves loose from this, which might be what's causing that tower. The authorities may have had to get involved, especially if it was in a workplace and this person was operating in this underhanded way, right? HR might have had to get involved, security, I don't know. It's very messy. Your instincts were right that you were like, I'm blocking any access of this whole scenario to reach me. I don't want anything to do with it. And now it says where things are headed is a Two of Cups. So what does that mean? What does that mean, Two of Cups? This Emperor felt blocked and confused about your relationship, possibly because this person was smearing you, right? Or slandering you. They may have been lying about you. They may have been lying about, you know, accusing you of what they were actually doing. Could be this person was confused and blocked about you, is what it's saying, and their home life. I don't know why that has to do with the Two of Cups. What does that mean? They want more stability. I don't know. Let's find out here. Maybe we can find out from some tiles. What was the situation? Who are the players? What was going on or is going on? "24 hours. Don't look back. A week. Health, money, no." They said no. This relationship may have started impacting this Emperor's health and their money. They're not looking back. They've cut the ties. I mean, it's emphasized that twice. They cut cords with this legacy and this history, and it's a finality. It's a death. They might still be recovering from it, right? They might still have some confusion or worry that they've ruined this, or that this really blocked or ruined things for you. Dig in and do the work in the next 24 hours to a week. And we're coming into spring here because this also talks about a season. So it could be by spring, right? There's some movement going to happen, but let's see here. Gosh, I almost got too many letters. Let's see what we can hear. Hoard, I'm seeing. Hoarding. That's interesting. Hoarding. Someone might be a hoarder or hoarding someone's time and energy. I don't know. Stain. Or taint, right? They were trying to stain or tarnish or taint your name. That's coming through. Hoarding, I don't know what hoarding is, but it's there. Sex. There's no U, so this Q doesn't strike me as going to be able to have any meaning here. Hoof. Someone might work with horses. Gab. There might have been a lot of talk, right? . sexy? I don't know. Gag. Oh, I'm hearing, wow, okay, gag order. Yeah, gag order. Can't spell, I have dyslexia. Seeing Tana, Jeff, Gordon, Hag. Somebody might practice, someone might be a practitioner, like a witch. Bait. I keep coming back to this gag order. There might be a legal situation that's going to come out of this in some way. Sex is involved. I mean, sex is involved in some way. 9. Fog. That came out up here. This person might feel like they're coming out of a fog with this confusion. Okay, this Emperor. That doesn't obligate you to do anything, I'm just saying. This was sorted. Tax, that might also be in play. Tax, oh, because we had season, so by tax season, this is tax season, right? It's unfolding on tax season. Dawn. Neo. Might have felt like you're in the Matrix, right? I'm not seeing a ton of names, which is interesting. Food. Hoarding food could be important. Hoarding food. This person might have an eating disorder, or someone may have, you know, I don't know. Soaring. This strikes me as that sun energy and 9 of Cups. Something is going to be really positive here out of this. Bay, like you might be moving somewhere or live somewhere where there's a bay. Okay. Tank. Gas tank. Boy. Sting. Yeah, there's some legal stuff for some of you with sting and some other words that came through that indicated a legal process potentially. Okay. That's enough of that. Sorry. I'm going to do a little bit of see what I can see scrying. I'm seeing a baby, something about a baby, like a, it's looking like a pregnancy, like not an actual baby. It's looking like a pregnancy. So there might be a pregnancy involved here. Sex came out, so there might, yeah, I mean, it could be that there's a pregnancy, which is what's been so difficult about this to some degree. Someone's got a white baseball hat that they're wearing backwards. It might not be backwards. It might, yeah, now I'm seeing someone with a white baseball hat looking down. So someone might be wearing a white baseball hat lately, either frontwards or backwards, whatever. Seeing chain links, like the links that you see in emojis, like just regular chain links, not a fence, but links in a chain. Yeah, like someone's chain. Someone wears a chain, okay? Somebody's got a chain, a gold chain. Someone's really crying. I'm sorry to whoever has been hurt here. Even this person, right? Like, I don't wish that kind of sorrow on somebody, but I really see just this sorrowful face. So it's not necessarily, it's just confirmation for someone, okay? Not that you have to do anything about that. Things are changing. It's shifting. This is a moving process, which makes sense with that Tower card. This is unfolding. It strikes me as right now. This is happening right now, and you are not aware of this, possibly. Somebody's jumping into a swimming pool. That's a joyful feeling with that. So the ending of this is bringing joy, which came out in the cards, right? Somebody's plunging into a pool, like in a fun way. They're having fun. Yeah, that person, I'm seeing that person in the hat again, and I think it's this person or someone very close to the situation, because they're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and like blocked, or like they're not exactly sure what to do. But I think it's because this is all unfolding right now. We're getting a glimpse into something that's happening right now that's not resolved yet. And this person's in the thick of it. It might be this emperor or somebody very close to the situation, because we talked about a triangle here. I don't know who, on what side of the triangle this person might be on, but they're kind of overwhelmed. Someone's listening to headphones. Yeah, I'm seeing the pregnancy again. There's a pregnancy here. There's something very weird about this pregnancy. I just have to say it. I don't know what it means. It's strange. Like there's something... I don't know what this means, but it's like a hybrid. Like this child is like a hybrid of some type. Like I don't mean racially or anything like that, but it's... I'm talking about like from the comics, honestly. Like I don't know what this is. It's just probably symbolic, or I don't know. It's like a lizard baby. I don't know what that means. Like maybe somebody likes Rosemary's Baby or what, you know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to, I'm just delivering it. It's not, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. I really don't. It's odd. It's not something I would... I picked up on a strange pregnancy like that in a Obsidian Mirror podcast scrying session months ago, probably like 6 months ago now. Maybe that was predictive of what's unfolding now. I don't know. Yeah, weird, because now again I'm seeing like somebody having a really relaxing day, laying on a blanket outside, right? Like maybe it's this, I don't know. It's a very hot mixture. This is I think why, because it's all unfolding right now, and I'm seeing like maybe past, present, future, like stuff coming through this gaze all at once. I don't know. Yeah, it just keeps pointing at this pregnancy. I don't know what that means, and I'm going to let that go, because I don't want to be sending confusing messages. But just know that there's something about this pregnancy that feels very foreign, like it's not a human pregnancy or something. I just have to say it. Yeah, and now I'm seeing like a yin and yang image. Okay. What's some advice for you to wrap this up? I feel like that was bizarre. What's some advice? Please don't be troubled by that. I don't want to be passing on like troubling, bizarre messaging like that. It's I'm sure something symbolic that's going to mean something to whoever that's meant for. It's not meant for everyone in here, that message about the pregnancy. It's going to have meaning to the person who has that kind of symbolism already in their mind's eye or something. I just want to say that, okay? What's some advice to close this out? Building blocks and by the book. Card 28. You have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life, that Sun card and the Nine of Cups. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. And you were spot on to move away from such a chaotic, troubled, toxic dynamic, okay? Are they still true for you now? Your core beliefs, right? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. When you see this card, know that you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on a foundation of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. So that strikes me as something encouraging about that Two of Cups. You're moving towards laying the groundwork for a relationship with a firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. So to do with that what you will. And then over here, card number 11 in the reverse by the book. Now is the time for a real change in consciousness as you are incited to revolt. Challenge the structures that are limiting authentic progress. It is not enough to rebel in small ways. This is a call to revolution. Focus on what you really want to achieve, regardless of whether it feels so far outside the box that the established order may reject it. Genius, invention, and transformation are rarely comfortable and less likely to be accepted by the mainstream. And that's where full circle to where we started. You may not have been understood when you moved away from this dynamic, but it was very much in keeping with your values, your ethics, the foundational kind of life that you want to live. And it was very much an affirmation in this reading that it was the right move for you. Even if other people didn't understand it, even if for a time you may have been penalized for it, right? Genius, invention, and transformation are rarely comfortable and less likely to be accepted by the mainstream. It may be time for you to say no to the way of your group, take a stand, and make real changes, which you did. It could be that the structure of your inner world is alerting you to the need for a complete overhaul. This is a time for transformation, so let go of the fear of change. Your intuition will lead you through the darkness. There is no turning back now. Trust that light will dawn. Epiphanies will surely lead to miracles. So your focus on yourself has been wise. If this emperor is going to, and has, it looks like, cut ties to this toxic foundation over here, it may be they're going through the confusion that needs not to be your worry. You're moving towards something really beautiful, whether it's with this person or not. I don't want the reading to get tripped up on whether you two are going to be together or not, because I don't find that very useful. And there's so many tarot readings out there on YouTube that are constantly circling around that issue. So try to let that go if you can and just focus on what you're building. And if this person's truly committed and that this is something to be healthy, they will meet you where you are, okay? And if they don't, you will find your community, right? Is kind of what I want to emphasize. So I'll just leave it there, and thank you. And I know that got a little wild there in that scrying, but it came out for a reason. So I've been trying to just trust that kind of thing and not worry about it so much. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.